Alright guys, back again with another digital graffiti piece, and today's style is starting out with a bunch of circles for reference. I just kind of put those there so I knew where the general shape of my letters was going to be, and then today's style is just like a little kind of bubbly, not super bubbly. It's like thin and bubbly at the same time. I don't know, but I thought the style looked alright, so I gave it a shot here. Doing some first lines, making it look proportionate. After everything gets placed, I wanted to put in the colors, and this is going to be a challenging color scheme. I wanted it to look kind of psychedelic, a little trippy, so I did multiple instances of the paint bucket fill with the radial color gradient, and I basically picked some iridescent looking colors and tried to just place them everywhere, even inside of the other gradients, and I just put gradients on top of gradient on top of gradient, and you get this really cool kind of pattern with a lot of spots where the blue center pops through. And then all the edges have like a more purpley pink red type of look. And then I ended up duplicating that a couple of times so that I could erase, and I chose to use the square eraser tool, and then I adjusted the hue of that layer. So now I have the original, and then I have that one on top of it. And I'm basically repeating this idea where I have that original layer with all the gradients. I duplicate it, make another layer where I erase a lot of it to create what looks like pieces, and then change the colors of that, put it back on top. So it's multiple layers of the same type of color gradient, just on top of each other for a very kind of broken, shattered glass, stained glass, crystal-y type of look that I like so much. Now we're going on to the final outline. The red lines from before were just the first lines for guidelines, and these will be a bit more permanent. And now that the final lines are in for the line work, I go in and kind of back each layer of color back into itself, so that way the borders actually match up. And then I add some shading, add a little bit of highlighting to make the letters kind of look like they're a little bit 3D, a little bit poppy. And I decided that border, that line work was just a bit too dark, a bit too dense, so I reduced the brightness by a little bit to give it a more like shadow, more gray type of look. I figured it'd end up looking a little less harsh. And then I finally get to move on to the background. I wanted it to kind of go with the fill of the piece, where it's a lot of geometric shapes. For the background, I chose circles, and I created a nice little pattern, and then filled those circles in with nice color gradients like I did in the initial layer for the letters. This is actually one of the first streams that I did where I had more than 1 or 2 viewers. I ended up having both of my friends, Jill and Jordan, in there for a little bit, as well as my follower, Jamie. So that was nice. I got to have a little conversation while I was working. I do like the interactive part of this. If I was just sitting here by myself the whole time, it's definitely not as fun. So I noticed while I was streaming and recording previous videos that the chair that I sit in usually is like the squeakiest chair that you've ever heard in your life. So when I record this voiceover here, I actually switched chairs, and then in the live stream they were telling me that the chair was loud. So I need to figure out how to reduce that. It's the only like comfortable office chair I have, but it's super loud. I wish I knew how to remedy that. I don't have, like, this chair is a little bit different. It's not screwed together and held like in the back. It's more screwed to like the sides of each cushion to each other in a weird bracket thing. And whatever system they got going on in there, it makes just a lot of noise. And you know, even one little squeak on that thing comes right through the microphone clear as day. So just another thing I have learned to be a little bit more aware of doing recording and whatnot. So the background here is finally finished. I had this kind of glitchy effect that has the layers kind of separate out but lay on top of each other, and I thought it looked pretty nice. And I'm gonna end up doing the same thing with these triangles that I'm putting behind the letters as well. I'm gonna erase some of each triangle and other parts of the other one and kind of have them lay on top of each other but behind the letters to give a bit more shape and interest. Pretty much every element in this design has a kind of like glitched or broken or shattered type of effect on it to help tie it all together. pretty much wrapping up the background portions here. I got 4 different little triangle sets in there to kind of go right behind the letters with that nice background, and they all have that kind of like separated, glitched, or broken look that I like so much. The last thing I have to do here is put a shadow behind it and make it cohesive, make it centered and nice. And then one thing that I didn't end up getting on camera is I did the same thing I did with the background circles. I did the same thing to the letters here, and it made them kind of broken and shattered and like separate, moved around, glitched. I thought it was a really nice look, and I decided to incorporate it on the letters too after the fact of the stream. And the truth of the matter is the step only took me about a minute, and I didn't think to record it, so that's on me. But if you want to see more of my art, come check me out on my socials. I got YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, what have you. Come check me out. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.